There are places on Earth that look impossible to save. The soil is gone, the hills are broken, the rivers run brown with mud, and every heavy rain carries more land away. For a long time, China's Loess Plateau looked like one of those places. It was dry, it was poor, it was badly eroded, and millions of people lived on land that seemed to be slowly dying. But then something incredible happened. The same hills that once looked almost like a desert began turning green again. Grass returned, trees returned, farms became stronger, and the land began to heal. This is the story of China's Loess Plateau, the desert that became green again. The Loess Plateau is a huge region in northern China. It is famous for its yellow soil. This soil is called loess. It is very fine, almost like powder. For thousands of years, wind carried these tiny particles across the land and built thick layers of yellow earth. At first, this soil was useful. It could grow crops. It helped feed people. It supported villages and farms. But loess has one big weakness. When trees and grass cover it, roots hold the soil together. But when the land is bare, the soil becomes very easy to wash away. Rain hits the ground, water runs down the hills, small cracks become deep channels, and slowly, the hills begin to collapse. That is what happened here. For centuries, people cut trees, grazed animals, and farmed steep slopes. They were not trying to destroy the land, they were trying to survive, but over time, the land lost its protection, and without roots, the soil had nothing to hold it in place. The damage happened slowly. A tree was cut for firewood. A hillside was turned into farmland. Animals ate the grass down to the roots. Another family needed more food. Each choice seemed small. But together, these choices changed the whole landscape. When rain came, the water did not soak into the ground. It rushed downhill. It carried away the most important part of the land, the topsoil. That soil flowed into the Yellow River. This is one reason the Yellow River became so full of yellow mud. But the problem was not only environmental, it was also a human problem. When soil disappeared, crops became weaker. When crops became weaker, people became poorer. And when people became poorer, they had to use the land even harder. More trees were cut, more animals grazed, more slopes were farmed. The land and the people were trapped in the same cycle. Poverty damaged the environment, and environmental damage created more poverty. Then came a different idea. Maybe the land was not dead. Maybe it was just being used in the wrong way. This changed everything. The solution was not simply to plant trees everywhere. Some areas needed trees. Some areas needed grass. Some areas needed to rest. And some land could still be farmed, but only in a better way. The goal was not to remove people from the land. The goal was to help people live with the land differently. Scientists and local communities began to look at the plateau as one connected system. Soil, water, trees, animals, farms, and people were all connected. If one part failed, the whole system suffered. So the plan was clear. Protect steep slopes, control grazing, build terraces, plant grass and trees, slow down water, and help farmers find better ways to make a living. This was the beginning of one of the most important land restoration projects in the world. The first step was simple but difficult. The most damaged slopes had to rest. For generations, people had farmed steep hillsides because they needed every piece of land. But steep slopes are dangerous when they are bare. When heavy rain falls, water rushes down fast. The faster it moves, the more soil it takes. So many fragile slopes were closed to farming and grazing. Some were planted with trees. Some were restored as grassland. Some were simply left alone. At first, the change was not dramatic, but slowly, grass began to return. Small plants appeared. Roots entered the soil. The ground became stronger. The land was not dead. It was waiting for a chance to recover. Another key solution was terracing. A terrace turns a steep slope into flat steps. This changes how water moves. On a steep, bare slope, Rainwater runs down quickly. It cuts the soil. It carries nutrients away. It creates erosion. But on a terrace, water slows down. It spreads out. It sinks into the ground, and the soil stays in place. Terraces helped farmers keep growing food without destroying the hills. This was important. The project did not simply tell people, stop farming. It asked a better question. Where can farming continue safely? That is why the restoration worked. It protected nature, but it also protected people's lives. Overgrazing was another big problem. Sheep and goats can survive in dry places, but if too many animals eat the same fragile grassland for too long, plants cannot grow back. The soil becomes exposed, then rain comes, and erosion starts again. So grazing had to be controlled. In some areas, animals were kept away from recovering hillsides. In other areas, grazing was managed more carefully. This was hard for local families. Livestock were food, they were income, they were security. But the land needed time, and when the pressure was reduced, nature responded. Grass returned, shrubs grew, the soil became more stable. Sometimes, nature does not need a miracle. It just needs a break. The restoration also used small dams called check dams. These dams were built in gullies where rainwater carried soil away. A check dam does not stop water completely. It slows the water down. When muddy water slows, the soil drops. This helps keep sediment in the landscape instead of sending it into rivers. Over time, the trapped soil can create flatter, more useful land. This shows an important idea. Restoration is not only about planting trees, it is also about controlling movement, slow the water, hold the soil, protect the slopes. Once destruction slows down, recovery can begin. Over time, the Loess Plateau began to change. At first, the changes were small: a patch of grass, a line of young trees, a hillside that no longer collapsed after rain. Then, the change became clear. Bare slopes turned green. Terraces held crops. Gullies became more stable. Less soil washed away. The most important change was underground. Roots were growing. Roots hold soil together. They help water enter the ground. They make the land stronger. A green hill is not just more beautiful. It works differently. It absorbs more rain. It loses less soil. It supports more life. The land was becoming alive again. The Loess Plateau restoration was not only about nature, it was also about people. When the land was damaged, life was difficult. Harvests were weak. Water was hard to manage. Poverty was common. But as the land improved, people gained new opportunities. Farmers used better terraces. Some planted orchards. Some changed the way they raised animals. Some found new income from healthier land. The goal was balance. Some land for farming, some land for trees, some land for grass, some land for protection. The region did not recover because humans disappeared. It recovered because humans changed their behavior. They learned that not every piece of land should be used in the same way. That one lesson changed everything. Stories like this show us that the planet is not only full of disasters, it is also full of second chances. If you enjoy stories about Earth, nature, and the science behind incredible transformations, follow this channel. Because sometimes, the most damaged places have the most powerful stories to tell. The Loess Plateau teaches us three important lessons. First, soil is not just dirt. Soil is life. It grows food. It stores water. It supports plants. It protects rivers. And it supports human civilization. When soil disappears, everything becomes harder. Second, restoration needs systems. Planting trees is not enough. You need to manage water, protect slopes, control grazing, support farmers, and understand how the whole landscape works together. Third, hope requires action. Nature can recover. but only if the pressure is reduced. A hillside cannot heal if it is constantly overgrazed. A forest cannot return if every young tree is cut. Soil cannot rebuild if every storm washes it away. The Loess Plateau became green again because people changed their relationship with the land. That is the real lesson. For viewers in the United States, this story may feel far away, but the lesson is close. America also knows what happens when soil is damaged. During the Dust Bowl, drought and poor land management turned farmland into dust. The sky became dark, families lost farms, and soil that once grew food was carried away by the wind. No country is immune to land degradation. Even rich land can become fragile. Even productive farms can fail if soil is not protected. That is why the Loess Plateau matters. It shows that damaged land does not always have to stay damaged. With the right choices, landscapes can recover. And when landscapes recover, people recover too. China's Loess Plateau was once a symbol of ecological collapse. The hills were bare, the rivers were muddy, the soil was disappearing, and millions of people struggled to survive. But today, many parts of the plateau tell a different story. Grass has returned, trees have taken root, water moves more slowly, soil stays in place, and the land is alive again. The scars are still there. The work is not perfect, but the direction has changed. That is what makes this story so powerful. It does not say humans never damage nature. We do. But it also shows that humans can help repair what was damaged, step by step, slope by slope, root by root. A broken landscape can become green again. A muddy river can run clearer. A poor community can build a better future. And a place once seen as hopeless can become proof that restoration is possible. So when we look at the Loess Plateau, we are not just looking at China. We are looking at a question for the whole world. If this wounded land could come back to life, how many other places are still waiting for their second chance?